Hi, my name's Stephen Edwards from Cheltenham Tax Accountants. I run a small practice based in Cheltenham. We've been going for around 5 years now. We're recording these videos for clients who are looking to do their own bookkeeping on Xero, but also other businesses that are looking for some sort of guidance and assistance to get them trained up on Xero to see how they can do their own bookkeeping. It's following on from some previous videos we've done regarding the basics of bookkeeping, what bookkeeping's about, why you need to know about it. So in these videos, we're going to cover a brief introduction into online software in general, but more specifically, why we choose Xero to be our favourite software. Okay, so if anyone's got any interest and you haven't come across the previous videos, let me know, send us some sort of comment on Facebook or an email, and I'm sure we can get those across to you. So the first thing we're going to look at in this short video is why should you be doing things online in the first place. In the introduction to bookkeeping, we touched upon the different forms of bookkeeping, and online is not the only option, but if you're watching this, I assume you've got some interest in doing online bookkeeping, and we're a big believer in it. We think it's the way forward. And out of the fairly large selection of online book software providers, we think Xero is the best. And we're going to give you a few reasons why we think you should choose Xero. Okay, so online bookkeeping in general, the software, one of the main benefits, or one of the most simplest, purest benefits it can provide is you don't have to worry about backing up. You haven't got any of these issues with, I've backed it up onto my USB stick, I've backed it up to my hard drive, where did I put the hard drive, when did I last back it up? Say my accountant needs to do my year-end accounts, you haven't got an issue where you're working on the software, you back everything up, send it to your accountant or your bookkeeper, whoever's going to give you some assistance, and they've got it for a few weeks, so they're reviewing and working on your books. At the same time, you still need to be using it day to day. You've now got two different versions. So that's the issue with desktop software. With online software, and for those of you completely new to business, ignore what I just said about desktop software. But online software, there's no worries about who's accessing it, when you're accessing it. There's no conflict. It's always updated. It's always real time, and you've got your own sort of custom access to suit you. So desktop software, I've mentioned a few times just in case there's some of you who are thinking about upgrade, and the desktop software you download for your PC, and it's a static piece of software. It doesn't really have any major changes. There are updates, but they're more like patches, so it doesn't really change. But online software is constantly evolving. Don't worry that it's going to change too much so you lose sight of everything you've learned. But there's lots of updates in the background, not just fixing things, but streamlining things, making them better. And there's always extra features that might be useful to you, really. So it does help you get the that added value from your online subscription. Ease of access, so you can access it from anywhere. You can access it from your phone, your tablet, your PC. Doesn't matter where you are. You're not bound to your desk. I would recommend ideally using a laptop for your kind of nitty-gritty proper bookkeeping. There are a few cool features you can do on your phone. The tablet version is pretty slick because it pretty much mimics the laptop. So anything you can do in the laptop, you can probably do on a tablet because of the right sort of dimensions. The phone one is a restricted version, as most sort of mobile apps are nowadays. I'd certainly recommend having a laptop or desktop PC. It's going to be quite difficult if you're just purely working from a tablet and a phone. So efficiency, the main efficiency, these 2 points are pretty much linked in. So the main efficiency gains you get from using online software as opposed to something manual is the automation. So apps and integrations, there are some powerful things you can link to. The main thing you're going to need, there's thousands of different apps you can link to nowadays on most online softwares, but the main thing you're going to need is your bank integration, so you can connect your bank account through online banking direct to your software. So this is fairly easy to do. It's something we'll cover a bit more detail in another video, But essentially, you have access to the software. You log in with your email and your password. You click on the bank account section. You add your bank account, who you bank with, what the account number is, what the sort code number is, and it's effectively like logging into your online banking. So you add a few personal security questions and passwords. It probably takes a few minutes to refresh, and it starts dragging those transactions through to the software. So it basically avoids all the manual entries. So you don't have to go through reams of paper and start entering all the transactions from your bank statement or from invoices and receipts into the software. It's already in the software waiting for you to do something with it. And there are some really cool things you can do once it's in there, in terms of automating and creating rules so it remembers what you've done previously, but we'll touch upon that a bit later on. And online software in general, it is the future. The government's got some new policies coming in next year for VAT registered businesses who are above the VAT limit, which is around £85,000. So they're going to be forced to do this from April. They're going to be forced to use some form of digital bookkeeping software. Spreadsheets are not necessarily out of the question, but they're kind of a makeshift. This is definitely the way it's going. The government wants you to be using software. So it's the future. There's lots of benefits to you in using it. It's not only future, it's also the present. I mean, there's lots of accountants out there, amazingly, and not even looking at cloud software because they're a bit old school. They've been in the industry for years and years, and this is a game changer. This is going to upset a lot of people because there's been historic ways of doing things, and doing it online is a change in mindset. But if you're new to business, or you're fairly comfortable with technology in general, I see no reason why you can't get to grips with using online software fairly easy. And hopefully these videos that we're going to be recording do help you along on that journey. Okay, so why Xero? I mean, we keep on talking about it. It's on our website. Just want to make it clear, we don't particularly benefit from people financially from using Xero. I mean, we get a slight discount for the amount of subscriptions we buy, but it's certainly not our driver. When I started Cheltenham Tax Accountants 5 years ago, I've been in accounting for 15 or 16 years, but when I started Cheltenham Tax Accountants officially to concentrate on it full time, I had to pick one of the main online bookkeeping providers. Done my research. There was QuickBooks Online, there was Sage, they're quite familiar names in the industry. There was ClearBooks, there was Cashflow. There's so many different ones, but Xero just had something about it. I mean, even just the branding, my gut instinct, there was something about it, but it's not just a fuzzy feeling why I think Xero is the one to use. That there are some genuine reasons behind it. So it's been a pioneer in cloud software from day one. So I mentioned no legacy software because Xero didn't exist before it becomes Xero. Xero was born as an online bookkeeping piece of software. Sage, QuickBooks, and a few others, that's not the case. They've been around for years and years and years. They've got all these old ways of doing things, and they've basically had to get along, move with the times. And Xero's come in and it's crushed their party, particularly Sage. It's disrupted the UK and probably the worldwide accounting bookkeeping software market. It's come in and it's done a great job from day one, and it's got a lot of people's attention. One of the other reasons was it's definitely not here in the short term. The amount of investment, resources, and development and constant improvements that goes into Xero is a big deal to us. And probably more important than anything, apart from it being a safe option long term, it's easy to use. If we're going to ask some clients to do their own bookkeeping, even with the resources we're creating at the moment with these videos, and also we do offer obviously support, actual physical support, it's so easy to use. We've got clients that have got no bookkeeping experience and that they're getting on fantastically with Xero. It's quite intuitive. You don't need to know your debits and credits. You don't need to go on a traditional bookkeeping course. If anything, I'd say that's going to hinder you because you only really need to know what you need to know. And that's the beauty of, I'd say, Xero is it does the basics really, really well. And it's just, it's going to just make your life easier and help you get more success in your business ultimately. It's always updating. You could say this is the same with the other providers, but Xero is certainly forward thinking. They brought a feature in probably about a year ago. It's called Find and Recode. No other software to this day, I think, that provides it, and it was a game changer. I mean, don't worry. In a nutshell, don't worry too much if you're putting things to the wrong account. As long as you, strangely enough, try and put it to the wrong account consistently, there's a feature called Find and Recode, and we can actually bulk move things. So rather than having to go through transaction by transaction, there's a powerful feature built into Xero now, which has only been around for the last 12 months, where we can move things at a large scale. Obviously, that's not what we want to get to. We want, to train you and encourage you to get things right first time, but it's a big feature. So I mentioned cool partners. It tends to partner up in terms of the apps, the integrations, who it endorses, with some really forward-thinking businesses. So, if you're looking for a CRM system, you're looking for a stock system, you're looking for something to do with HR, you're looking for something to do with proposals. If you go into the app market for Xero, there's so many integrations, and they don't pick anyone. They only pick people that they think really fits with their ethos and philosophy, and we think is fantastic. Okay, so this is only a short video. There's lots more Xero visuals on the way. The next one's we're going to dive straight in. I'm going to share my screen. It's going to be a bit more practical, but I just wanted to cover initially a little bit of a brief introduction into Xero. So the next video, we're just going to cover what Xero actually does. But, before you dive in and start using it, what does it do? What can it not do? What can it do well? And really make you question, what do you want to get out from the software? So we'll go into that in a lot more detail in the next video. So thanks for watching.